And welcome to the November 8th meeting of the Glendale Commission on the Status of Women. This is our year of women in volunteerism, and tonight it is, or this month, it's Families First. Ms. Baboumian, can we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Donnellian, Commissioner Hunt, Commissioner Kashchin,
Present.
Commissioner Walker,
Present.
Chair Devine.
Here. Item.
At 1A, we have the report regarding the posting of the agenda. The agenda for the November 8, 2010 meeting was posted on the bulletin board outside of City Hall on or before November 5, 2010.
Thank you. Next item.
At 2, we have introductions and presentations, and at A is the introduction of our new commissioner, Susan Hunt. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you very much. Pleased to be here.
Give us a little bit of information about yourself to the audience.
Sure. I have been getting over a cough, so I apologize. My voice is terrible. I've been a Glendale resident for about 24 years. I raised my children here. Worked for the Glendale Unified School District for 14 years, just retired part-time. Actually, I'm employed part-time. I'm fully retired. I work part-time in support of the Educational Foundation. I'm a past president of the Board of Directors of the YWCA. From Glendale Healthy Kids, and I've been active in the community in a number of different ways. I'm pleased to be here.
Thank you. Welcome.
I just want to add that I've known Susan for several years, and she's a terrific person, and I know she's going to be a welcome addition to this commission. So, next item.
At B, we have the Door of Hope, Glendale, and here to present about Door of Hope is Tim Peters, who is the executive director.
Thank you, Christine and staff and commissioners. It's a privilege to be with you here this evening. Door of Hope is I'm very, very excited about Door of Hope. It's an amazing organization that we're celebrating 25 years of equipping homeless families to rebuild their lives. Door of Hope started in Pasadena 25 years ago, and we've been recently able to expand here to Glendale, and we're very, very excited to be part of the Glendale community. And I love your theme of the year, volunteerism, Year of the Volunteer, and also the fact that this month's theme being Families First resonates very much with who we are as an organization. And I do want to say, as we're celebrating 25 years, we have a celebration that we're actually promoting, and this is a great opportunity to mention that on December 4th, we're going to be having a 25th anniversary celebration, and the information is on the screen. And if you want to click to the second page, you can go to our website at www.doorofhope.us to find out more information about this fundraiser and celebration. We have a generous donor of willing to match $25,000 for every dollar donated during that event. So I want to take this opportunity to introduce a staff person that fits with the theme of Year of the Volunteer, as well as a lover of families and children, and somebody that works daily here at our Glendale site. I want to introduce Kendra Patton to tell you more about the Door of Hope.
Hello. Thanks for having us here tonight. Like Tim said, my name is Kendra Patton, and I'm our Children and Youth Director for Door of Hope Glendale. I'm also in charge of our volunteers and interns. So I love that you guys are promoting volunteerism. It's so great and so necessary. We have plenty of opportunities to volunteer at Door of Hope Glendale that I'll get to in just a minute. But first, I just want to tell you a little bit about our organization and what we do. We are a transitional housing facility for families who are currently experiencing homelessness. Our families come from all over different places in Los Angeles County for different reasons. They're homeless by living in their car because they lost their housing, or because they needed to stay in an emergency shelter because they were in a violent situation and they needed to get away from that situation. They've totally different reasons why they what brings them to Door of Hope and to stay with us. But when we're there, we have a program of restoration with our families, and that's our goal, is to equip homeless families to rebuild their lives. us. We don't want to just put a Band-Aid over the situation, but we want to permanently fix the problem so that they're never homeless again. And that's our ultimate goal, is that they leave our program without ever being homeless again. And we do that through different things. We have counseling that each of our families are required to go to at our site in Glendale. It's all single mothers, and so they are required to go to counseling. Certain families, they do need family counseling, and so they see our counselor together, and they have a chance to heal as a family unit, because we do want to keep our families together, and that's part of what we do as a housing program. We also have classes that our mothers are required to go to. They're required to attend life skills classes, finance, budget classes, parenting, different things that will help them, that will equip them to move on and never be homeless again once they leave our program. We also, at our Glendale site, have a domestic violence component to it. We want the women who come in who have been victims of domestic violence to know what healthy relationships look like, so that once they leave, they don't enter into violent situations ever again. And that's really important to us. So we have a domestic violence healing class that the women actually decided that they wanted to do and researched it and put it together themselves. And that's what we want to do. We want to empower them to do things like that, things that they know will help them heal while they have time with us and while they are able to stay with us in our program. We do have plenty of volunteer opportunities. I am our volunteer coordinator, and there are places to volunteer with our after-school program. We run a holistic after-school program as well with our kids, because we want them to improve in their grades while they're with us, and we want them to develop good study habits and different things that will help them with their life skills, so that they, when they grow older, aren't homeless. And so we work with the kids as well, and that's an opportunity to volunteer, is to come volunteer with our after-school program and to hang out with our kids. They need tutors, they need mentors, and they need people to look up to. And so that's one way to get involved. Also, when the moms are in class, we watch the kids, and that's part of what I do as well, is watch the kids at night from 7 to 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday when the moms are in class. And so we need extra people to come and love on the kids and to give them attention and give them extra love and extra care when they're with us. So that's another opportunity to get involved. If kids aren't your thing, and some people, that's not where they immediately are drawn to. We also have opportunities to help clean up different apartments once families move out. We really want to get in and clean the apartment and set it up for a new family to come in, because we want them to come in and feel right at home as soon as they get there. So cleaning is another opportunity. We take big groups who can come in and volunteer. Just a few weeks ago, we had a group of 65 women come in and volunteer at our shelter. And they helped us move our office, helped us move our kids' room. They did so much work for us, and it was all women, and they did so much work for us, and it was amazing to have them there. So we can take large groups, and we can take individuals. We just want people to see what we do and be inspired and to get involved. And so right now, do you guys have any questions for me before I move on? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Yes, thank you. I understand that there are 4 phases of development in your program. Can you briefly describe each phase of development and how long that takes and how long these families are in your program?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a 1-year program, and so what we do is we have the families when they first come in. That's where we kind of start to get them stabilized, because they're coming from different situations, which is more chaotic. And so that's kind of what we do at first when they first get there. And then we work on stabilizing them in their skills, their life skills, their parenting skills, and things like that, helping them have the skills to get a job, to interview well, to fill out applications. And then we start working on finding their permanent housing, because, like I said, we want them to leave and never be homeless again. So we work on getting permanent housing settled with them. We have a rapid rehousing specialist on staff who helps each of our families find permanent housing. And most of our families that just graduated actually moved into the state in the Glendale area, and actually now have apartments here, which is great that they're still close to us. And then the last phase is moving into that permanent housing, and we do a graduation where we celebrate with them, because we want them to know that we're proud of them, and we want them to be proud of what they've accomplished. So they can stay for up to a year, but most of our families, they don't necessarily stay for that long, because it does move quicker. Once you're there, it starts to move quickly.
Help them find jobs.
Yeah, we, yes, they are. We don't find the jobs for them. We set them up with other agencies that help them find jobs. Because we don't want to just put a Band-Aid over it, and so handing things to people sometimes does that. But if you say, here's a place where you can go look for jobs, here are some resources, then they can go do it themselves, and that's empowering.
Great.
Yeah.
Commissioner Tostian?
Thank you. I understand you mentioned that there's a volunteer program for your after-school program.
Yeah.
And the number is 818-548-3872.
Yes.
Okay. What other volunteer programs do you have?
Well, like I mentioned, we can also take volunteers to help out with our nighttime program. But on top of that, I like to have groups who can come in and help clean after we have families move out.
What's the nighttime program?
The nighttime is when the moms are in class. The moms are in class from 7 to 8 Monday through Thursday,
Like the
and then we
babysitting-
watch them. But-
Babysitting time?
Yeah,
Babysitting.
it's more free time, but I do have groups who come in from different organizations in the area, and they do programs with the kids. They don't. It's not just free time. Sometimes they come in and they have things planned to do with the kids.
Can you name some of those programs that come in, the groups that come in? Who comes?
Yeah.
Who are the 65 women? Where are they from?
They were from Christian Assembly in Eagle Rock. They had a Day of Hope, is what they called it, and they went to 4 different places in the area. And I have a relationship with one of the volunteers who comes on Monday nights to volunteer at our children's program. And at that time, she asked me, hey, could you use some extra help? And so we did, and they came from Christian Assembly. We have a lot of churches will commit, but in youth groups and college groups and different things like that. We also work with Center for Student Missions, and they bring us groups as well.
You work with Girl Scouts and those groups?
Yeah, we work with Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts as well. I'm actually in the middle of working on 2 projects with each, so yeah, we work with anybody who's willing to help out. We figure out a way for people to get involved. Good question.
And the number again to volunteer?
Is 818-548-3872. And you'd ask to speak with me, Kendra.
72?
Mm-hmm.
How many families do you have at the Door of Hope at the present time?
We serve 13 families.
13, and that's the capacity?
Yep.
That's the full capacity?
13 moms and 35 kids.
Well, that's the Glendale facility.
Yeah, and they each get their own 1-bedroom apartment, which is great because it keeps the whole family together. I actually had one girl last week who told me that she loves being at Door of Hope because she gets to be with her mom again. Because when they were going through domestic violence, a lot of times the kids get taken away, and that's what happened in her case. They got taken away, they got put into foster care, and for 3 months she remembered the exact dates of when they were away from their mom, and told me about all of the things that she went through in foster care and how she loves being at Door of Hope because now she can sleep next to her mom every night, and she can have her whole family together, and that she really missed that. They went to 8 different schools in a year. I mean, they've been through a lot, so yeah, that's what we work on when they're with us. Yeah.
So you need volunteers, you want volunteers, and hopefully someone's listening out there with a group that would like to come in and volunteer. Tim, would you like to say anything else? Or are you finished with your presentation, or do you have more information
We actually
for us?
have a mom that would like to share it with you
wonderful. Okay.
right now. So her name's Joanne, so I'm going to invite her up now. Come on up.
Hi.
So I just have a few questions I'm going to ask her. Okay, so first, what brought you to Door of Hope?
It was poor life skills led to bad choices. I had a lot of depression, a lifelong depression, and then that led to poor coping skills. So bad choices in relationships, my own choices in my own life. So I've overcome those, and but I still need, because of financial consequences and lots of consequences, it's taken me a while to get on my feet. And also I separated from my son's father, so that led to big financial, overwhelming pressures that I couldn't handle on my own. I have a 3-year-old, so we went to a shelter, and it was very hard. It was very hard for me to see my son not be able to control the environment, protect him, the instability and lack of structure. So I was in the shelter for 3 months, and then I interviewed with Door of Hope, and they accepted me. and I was just ecstatic. I was so happy. I felt like I won the lottery. For me, it's like the lottery because it's a home, and it means I can protect my son and nurture him according to my values.
And then what does Door of Hope mean to you?
It's a safe place, safe haven, a place, like I said, to nurture him, to protect him, my son, and have fun with him. He loves it. He's really safe there. He told me he doesn't want to leave, so he calls it his home, and he loves Kendra and the other staff, our volunteers and staff that watch the kids are really, really awesome. I feel really comfortable. I can be at ease and go to my classes and know that he's going to be okay and people are going to be kind to him, safe. So it means a safe place for us.
And what is Door of Hope equipping you to do in your future? What do you hope to aspire to after that?
Well, I want Door of Hope. I'm going to make Door of Hope a springboard for myself, so that I never end up in this situation again, for one, and not only to just survive and get an apartment and any job or whatever. I really want to succeed further than that and thrive. I want to get my PhD and my my home and buy a home, make life as good as I can for my son so I can raise a good man so that he won't have these problems. I don't want this to go on. And I only have one child, so I'm giving it my best shot. I'm trying to give my best shot. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure.
Thank you.
How long has Jillian been at the Jillian?
You want to answer?
Yes,
How long
sure.
you been here?
I've been there 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
Yes.
Relatively.
Just moved in. Yes, and already I feel like really comfortable. I like the program. I like what they offer, helping me with life skills. Because just a place is, of course, that's wonderful enough. That's awesome enough. But it's nice to have that other stuff to feel more secure. Like, it's not going to happen again. I have these people to support me. So, yeah, 4 weeks.
Good luck.
Do you have any other questions for her?
Yes, she mentioned an interview process. What's that about? I mean, can you explain that to me?
Yeah. Our families come, like I said, from different situations. Most of the time they apply through their emergency shelter. So they'll stay in an emergency shelter, but you only have so long that you can stay there. So then they fill out a written application, and then they send it in to us. We review it, and then if it looks like they're a good candidate, then they do a phone interview. And from there, if it proceeds, then it goes to a face-to-face interview where the mom goes and talks with our program director and our case manager. And then I take the kids and get a feel for the kids so they can start to feel comfortable in our area. And then from there, we decide as a team if the family is a good fit for our program and then ask them if they want to be with us. So that's our process.
Other comments, Commissioner?
Thank you. Can you give the phone number to both the Glendale and the Pasadena programs that you have, so
Yeah.
someone who needs assistance would be able to contact you? Can you do that?
Yep. The number for the Glendale site is the same as the one that I gave you earlier, 818-548-3872. And the one for Pasadena is 626-356-3667.
Comments from the commissioners?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Again, the mission of the Door of Hope is to equip homeless families to rebuild their lives, and I think that's commendable. And I hope that all of you that are watching out there, if you have a desire to volunteer, you can go and do the evening babysitting. That sounds easy enough for, 1 hour? Is there any obligation, I didn't ask, if for volunteers they just come in and leave, or do you have a system in place?
We don't want
Please.
we don't want people to come in once if they're going to be working with the kids, because I want to protect the kids and not have other people just in and out of their lives because they are used to that. And so it doesn't have to be every week. I have volunteers who come every single week, but I also have volunteers who say, I'm going to be there on the 4th Thursday of every month, and they do, and they come up with something for the kids to do, and they're there, and the kids know they can count on them.
Okay, but if there is a group that's watching, someone that is with a group of young girls or women, if they want to volunteer, call and volunteer, like to say, clean for a day, or do some other job that you might have, volunteer activity. They can do that. Just come in for a day and...
We have lots of people that do that. The big groups that come in, that's what they do. They'll have one day and they come in and do a lot of work for us, a lot of stuff that gets put off by the staff until we have a big group that's willing to come in and serve. And that's a one-time thing.
Actually, what they should do is call you and ask what you have available for a big group. What do you need, and what day can we come? And great.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Hope someone out there is listening and they respond. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for coming tonight. Okay, Ms. Babumian, next item.
3 is oral comment. Discussion is limited to items not a part of this agenda. Time is limited to an amount to be set by the chair. The commission may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or discussion. Staff may refer the matter to the proper department for investigation and report.
I have no cards, so let's move on to the next item.
At 4 is consent items. A is approval of the minutes of the regular commission meeting held on October 11th, 2010.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes from the commission? I see none, so shall we move? I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes as presented.
And a second?
I second.
Accept consensus?
Yes.
Yes.
I think we should take roll.
No, I think the record would reflect one abstention because Commissioner Hunt was not present.
So do we need to take roll? No. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
At 5 is the business agenda, action items, and at 1 is the Commission on the Status of Women's Master Calendar of Events for 2010, and at A is a motion to provide any direction regarding the calendar.
Are there any corrections or additions that the Commission would like to add or take away? I suppose the calendar is subject to change as the meeting goes on, but perhaps, so...
Of course.
Motion to accept the calendar as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded.
And consensus, yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
At 2 is the selection of vice chair to complete the term of the vacant position, and at A is a motion to make this selection.
And we have a brief report, Ms. Babumian.
Or Chair Devine, members of the Commission, staff respectfully recommends that the Commission on the Status of Women select a vice chair to complete the term of the vacant position through February 2011. Commissioner may be nominated by another commissioner or may nominate him or herself. The motion to nominate an individual does not require a second. If there is only one nominee for a position, a yes/no vote is taken. If more than one member is nominated for this position, each nominee can give a verbal statement regarding their qualifications or interest in the position. A roll call vote is called, and each commissioner then states the name of the nominated individual for whom they wish to vote. This is the procedure that we've used this year.
Okay, so then what we need is a nomination for vice chair of the commission. Do I have any nominations?
Yes, you do. I nominate Vache Tashjian.
We don't need a second on that. And any other nominations? So we take an oral vote, please.
Commissioner Hunt?
Aye.
Commissioner Tashjian?
I think I need to abstain on this.
No, you can vote for yourself.
Okay, I'll vote for myself then.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
And Chair Devine?
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next item.
At 3 is consideration and discussion of the guidelines for the 2011 special focus for the Commission on the Status of Women, and at A is a motion providing direction regarding this special focus. Would you like a report, Chair Devine?
Yes, please.
Each year, the Commission has selected a special focus and develops its programming to reflect this focus. It provides a topical framework to enhance and enrich the standing annual programs as well as special events during the year. Past themes have included Year of the Glendale Girl, Women Lead, Women's Health, and this year, which is Year of the Volunteer. Traditionally, this focus has been determined by the Policy and Program Committee, which is usually comprised of the chair and vice chair of the commission. Due to the early departure of our former vice chair, staff is requesting that the commission as a whole determine the special focus for 2011. And once the focus for 2011 is determined, staff requests direction regarding what kind of organizations the commission would like to see that would provide presentations throughout the year consistent with this theme. That concludes my report.
Thank you. I'll open this up to the commission and ask if anyone has any ideas or suggestions as to a focus for this next year. Since Vice Chair Tostian is just brand new, as Babumian said, we're going to just maybe try to decide this amongst us tonight. So does anyone have a suggestion or an idea? Right, I have two. I have two. Right. I have two. The first one, and you can think about this, is one that I have been thinking about for a while, and that is women in aging. And I know that everybody, we're all, even as we sit here, we're each and every one getting older. So I thought that perhaps that would be a great focus for this commission. We could discuss health problems, caregiving, and a lot of other issues that women have to face as they grow older, changes in their mental attitude, their bodies, et cetera, et cetera. So that's my first suggestion. And then the second suggestion I have came from Senator Carol Liu. We recently went to her health conference, which will be her last. And because she's going to focus now on poverty and how we can all help those in need. And so I thought about that and talked to her assistants, her staff, and they mentioned that what she's going to do is focus on education for women in need, life skills, obesity, fitness, financial literacy, all of the issues that this commission focuses on in our every month activities, our Rosie Goes to Wall Street, Camp Rosie, and I thought that might be a perfect fit for next year, this coming year. And I had an idea that perhaps we could call it Women in Need. If you have any ideas on a better name for it, then we're open to suggestions. But those are my two ideas, and I would certainly like to have comments from my fellow commissioners and ideas, suggestions, exactly what you think of the two suggestions. So, do I have any comments from Commissioner Walker?
I think also in alignment with the California Association on the Commission of Women and the National Association on the Commission of Women, the issue which you touch about poverty and financial education and so on, I think that's an important imperative. Economic empowerment, maybe as a general, and that encompasses all these other topics that you mentioned, because if we're really going to be helping women, it is crucial that we help sustain them financially and economically so that they can better assert and empower themselves.
And I think that's exactly the idea that Senator Liu has with her program, and that's why I think that it's a good fit for this commission. Any other comments? Commissioner Hunt?
I agree that it's a good fit. It's nice to be able to align with other organizations that are doing a similar work instead of being off over here doing something completely unrelated when there's good work happening in the community this way. I think it's a great idea.
Have an idea, or would you like to ex officio Donnellian, please?
I'd also like to add on that I think it's a very good idea, just because it's not only like starting its new foundation and working with other organizations, but it's also carrying on our theme this year, volunteerism. So, I mean, we're going to help out the need and the people, so it's good. I like it.
But then I guess it seems that we are agreed that it should be women in need to collaborate and to participate with Senator Carol Liu's focus, and I know that she does welcome our participation. So I need a motion to that effect.
So
that we adopt.
would the theme be women in need or economic empowerment?
Women in need, and that way we can pinpoint economic empowerment, we can do health issues, we can do education, life skills, obesity, all of the topics that the senator wants to put in her program.
My suggestion is to specifically focus on economic or financial empowerment, so that there's like a strand that we want to focus upon, and that again it's in alignment with what the other national organizations are doing, because that's their specific focus in terms of their mission and goal. That is my suggestion, so that it's not just women in need, because it's so generic and, you know, kind of like focuses on kind of like negative. I don't know, like, you know, the way that I see it, it's negative, like women are always in need of what. But if it's economic empowerment, it's more positively focused, and it can still touch on those different issues. I think it's critical that we address the theme, because the theme is, or what the title is, because that's going to anchor, you know, our branding and, you know, our future campaigns.
I agree on the negativity part, and that's why I've been trying to discuss with, I was discussing earlier with Commissioner Hunt, how we could approach it in a more positive way. Rather than say economic, we could just say empowering women this next year, or something to that effect, to make it a positive. Does anyone have any ideas on that? I don't want to. I don't want it to be economic, because that is a little bit too specific and narrow, and I'm afraid that it might be a little bit difficult to for the commission to handle that particular topic for the whole year. I would rather have a wider parameter for the focus, and then narrow in specifically every month.
Perhaps have one theme and several sub-themes.
Exactly.
Is what I think you're talking about.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's the wording. Maybe women in need is not the proper wording for it, but have one theme and then several sub-themes that could be addressed.
But I just want to also point out that in the past, we've been really very specific in terms of our focus, and that's what the focus is about, and that's the goal of identifying a focus. Okay? Because if we say empowerment and, you know, the focus on all the needs, that's what the commission is about. Okay? But the purpose of identifying a theme is so that you're strategic and you're focused for that year. And last year, we focused on health issues, and that's so targeted, and that will help us, you know, in this way. And as I said, I just really want to go back to what the other national organizations are doing, especially also on world organizations focusing on children and women and so on. It's really, the crux of it is really economic empowerment for women, because if you really look at it, women are really relegated to a second-class citizen in terms of economics and financial, and there's a lot that needs to be done in terms of legislation, in terms of financial literacy, and so on. So that's
this commission cannot really affect legislation per se by ourselves. And when you talk about our focus being on health, that is a broad focus. And then we narrowed it down every month to a different issue. And so I think that if we have a broader, I just, for some reason, I don't want to narrow it down to economics only, because economics to me is working and financial literacy. And we can do those things, but there are a lot of other issues that we want to bring into play besides just the economics. It is about economics, but I just don't.
But it shouldn't, we're not, you know, I still don't, I understand what you're saying, Chair, but again, what I'm, you know, trying to advocate here is our alignment in terms of, what those, as what Commissioner Hunt says, let's not reinvent the wheel, and let's align ourselves to these, greater organizations. And I've been privileged to be an ACCW representative, and this is really one of the things that they've been really talking about. Aside from health issues and so on, those are the key strands that they're talking about. And for us to at least attach ourselves to one of those strands, such as financial or economic empowerment, would, really help us. It doesn't negate us from assisting in those other areas that, we do, because we're always going to be doing that based on our strategic plan. I'm just concerned that in terms of our branding and in terms of our marketing, we need to really have a hook that's really going to be, a lot more focused.
Commissioner Hunt?
Senator Liu's theme, as I wrote it down at the event last week, was working women in poverty. I think that's really, it's full of stuff, but it's also kind of negative. And that encompasses all those other, it encompasses economic empowerment, it encompasses health issues, it encompasses child care, it encompasses all those things that working women in poverty have to deal with and have a hard time with. It's harder to be excited about. It's hard to wave a flag about working women in poverty somehow. Poverty carries such a negative.
Right. And women in need.
Stigma.
Right.
Yeah.
Commissioner Benellian?
Yeah. I was going to say right now we're in a time where we just went kind of through a recession and people are right now trying to get back on their feet. So maybe we don't have to specifically say empower women in economics, because we want to kind of generalize it and talk about the people who need health issues or who are suffering from domestic violence too. That is what our commission does, but we should still have a kind of broader theme to it. So maybe we could go with a theme like getting back on your feet or something along those lines. Or we don't have to just.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea. Positive.
Having a good vibe going here too, because I thought about lifting women from poverty, or starting anew,
or how about elevating women? That is kind of one of our
elevating women. Period.
Elevating women, and then we can put the economic strand in. Of course, we can do the life skills. We can do the health, the fitness, the jobs, all of that, because we will have 12 different chances to elevate women, to get them back up on their feet if need be.
Chair Devine, perhaps it would help the discussion, because the next step after you determine the theme, the focus, is that staff's requesting direction regarding the organizations that will provide presentations throughout the year. So perhaps if you discuss that at this juncture, you could make a determination of what are the organizations you're looking to reach out to, and when you do that, that may help you coin the term that you're looking for. So if you find that you've got a greater slant on just the economics portion of it, then maybe you do provide that focus. But if you're finding that the organizations are a wider variety, then maybe that helps you widen the scope of your key term.
Our slogan or our logo for the focus for the year.
So not to put the cart before the horse,
Right.
but that may help the discussion.
Well, I know Commissioner Hunt was at the conference with us, and some of the topics that the Senator did talk about, she did mention, was education, life skills, health problems, health issues, obesity, fitness, and financial literacy, and jobs.
So will that be sub-themes?
Yes,
We just need a positive, I guess, slogan or positive focus,
Yes.
and then those would be the sub-themes for
Correct.
each month, for example, or for each period of time that we need.
Yeah.
I understand now.
And so actually with the Senator's introduction to her new focus, she really just gave us like 8 months, something for each month,
Right.
in her
Yeah.
speech. And I thought that was very easy and a easy transition. And we can focus on economics. We can focus, and that would include the job element component. That would include the financial literacy component. Can you think of any others, Commissioner Walker, that we could in that vein?
I think right now, especially the climate, it's really about jobs. It's
Right.
about, even, the Obama administration, why they're declining popularity because they fail to provide jobs. So helping them, get jobs, helping them with their resume skills, interview skills, partnerships with non-governmental entities or other organizations out there to really, help put food in the table.
Okay. So I think that in that case, then why don't we can definitely devote a month to each one of those, if not all of them, some of them, all of them, and perhaps call it Elevating Women.
I think it sounds great. Elevating women, and we can do that as the general theme, and the sub-themes, what you mentioned, education, financial independence, some of the other themes or sub-themes that Senator Lewitt mentioned.
Health, certainly.
We could also say like elevating women in economics, health, or we could put the sub-themes even in the title.
Yeah, you could.
Want a longer title. That's an option
Well,
too.
we always kind of like to keep it short,
Easier to
but
keep it
that's, yeah, because then people will catch on to it. It's like it is a hook, but, and then we can do the subdivisions. Ms. Bavumian, did you want us tonight to decide on each month, or do you want us to think about that and bring it back next month?
We could definitely do that if you'd like to think about it and
Yes.
then bring back the
Yes.
theme, the specific.
Okay. So right now, we'll just decide on the theme for next year, and so I think if we, my idea is that if we do something general like elevating women, we can certainly incorporate all of Commissioner Walker's ideas, and if you bring us, next month, we can all come in with some suggestions as to monthly programs, and then we can plan that all out. So do I have a motion on what we should focus, what our focus should be?
I'll make a motion that our theme for 2011 will be elevating women.
Second.
Shall we take an oral vote?
Like to take an oral vote? Sure. Commissioner Hunt?
Aye.
Vice Chair Tashchin?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Chair Devine?
Then next month, we'll all bring back our at least 3 or 4 or 12 ideas for the programs. Great. Okay. All right, next item, please.
4 is consideration and discussion of the student ex officio search and committee appointments for the year 2011. And at A is a motion appointing 2 commissioners to the Student Screening and Selection Committee.
Can we get a brief report, please?
Chair Devine, members of the Commission, it is recommended by staff that the Commission establish the 2011 Screening and Selection Committee for the Student Ex Officio Search. The Commission may appoint 2 commissioners to serve on this committee. Packets of the submissions will be prepared and distributed to the committee for review and screening once they are appointed. It is anticipated that no more than 1 meeting of the committee would be needed to come to consensus after the interviews with the applicants. And the new student ex officios would be appointed to the positions at the February 2011 meeting and serve in that capacity for 1 year. And I know it's a ways off, but just wanted to get the ball rolling on that.
Right. So then what we need is volunteer. Here we go. Volunteer for this committee to choose next year's ex officios, which will take place in February. I would like to personally volunteer for this committee. Would anyone else Care to volunteer?
I think I would like to volunteer also.
Great. Okay. Mr. Tostian and I will do that then. Okay.
So then the motion is to have Chair Devine and Vice Chair Tastian as the members on the committee.
Do I have a motion to that effect, or do we need one? Yes.
Yes, please.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Consensus? Yes.
Thank you.
Item, please.
At 5 is appointment of chair for the 2011 Jewels of Glendale fundraising event, and at A is a motion appointing the chair. And I do have a report.
Please.
The Jewels of Glendale is the major fundraising event of the Commission on the Status of Women, and the year 2011 will mark the 7th anniversary of this event. The purpose of the event is to bring attention to the accomplishments of women in the city of Glendale and to raise funds for the various projects of the Commission. Traditionally, this event has been held in the month of March to honor Women's History Month. Last year, however, due to the reorganization of the Commission, the event was postponed until May. At this time, staff respectfully recommends that the Commission appoint a member to serve as the chair of this event. The chair will work with staff to ensure the proper planning, coordination, and implementation of a successful Jewels event. The chair and staff will solicit commissioners to volunteer their efforts in the following areas. The first is sponsorships, and this would be to coordinate materials for sponsorships, both major and individual. The second would be advertisements. This individual would coordinate the solicitation of advertisements for the program book. The third area would be silent auction and giveaways, and this individual would coordinate solicitation on behalf of the commission of items for the silent auction and coordinate the solicitation and distribution of giveaways for the event. And the fourth is the speaker/talent, if there is any, and awards. And this individual would help secure the speaker and any entertainment for the event, as well as coordinate who receives the awards, along with the chair of the event. It is a standing recommendation of the Policy and Program Committee that each commission member commit to securing at least 5 major sponsorships and 5 items for the silent auction. In previous years, commissions have voluntarily donated a basket for the silent auction. That is certainly not a requirement. Staff is seeking commission direction with regards to who will chair the Jewels event and who will help assist in each of the 4 additional areas of planning for the Jewels event. In addition, nominations for the 2011 Jewels of Glendale Award will need to be open so that interested parties or organizations can nominate eligible women for consideration of the award. In addition, a date and venue for the event will also need to be selected. Staff is seeking direction on if these items will be selected by the Commission as a whole or by the chair of the Jewels event, along with the chair of the Commission and staff.
Okay. All right. So the most important part of this agenda item is for someone to volunteer to be the chair of the luncheon. It's a big job, we know it, but it is our major fundraiser. This is how we keep all of our programs going. And, so I ask, and I also want to say that whoever is the chair, we do help out. Ms. Baboumian is a great resource, and she's very helpful in all of this, and all the commissioners try to help as much as they can. So do we have a volunteer to be the chair of the luncheon? She's raising her hand.
I'll volunteer to chair
trepidation.
the luncheon.
Our brand-new Commissioner Hunt is going to...
As long as it's not in March, though. I can't do it if it's in March.
And I think because we're missing a commissioner right now, I think we're in the same position that we were last year, where we only had 4 commissioners and we were down 1. So hopefully, in the next month or so, we can have a replacement for our Commissioner Asvanian, who has resigned. Or Savanian. Okay. All right. So thank you, Commissioner.
So are we still doing it March? Or
So I think we're going to do it in, we're looking at May right now, And I think we're not going to decide that tonight, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to move towards May again. I think that date worked out fabulously last year. We had a really good turnout. It was a nice time of the year. And so the chair, Commissioner Hunt, will work with Ms. Baboumian and we'll get a venue and a date set and bring it back to the commission for your approval. So thank you, Commissioner Hunt. I'd like to volunteer for the awards, since we're asking everyone to volunteer for a specific duty.
I'll do the speaker talents.
That's what I just...
Oh, is that the same?
Yes.
Well, I'll
choose another.
I guess I'll take the silent auction and giveaways.
Okay. Walker?
What are the others that's left?
Sponsorships and advertisements.
Advertisements for the program book and sponsorships for the whole event. I would suspect there's a fair number of people who repeatedly
Yes.
advertise, aren't
Yes.
they? It would just be a
And the same
question
with
of contacting them and then trying to get some new ones, too.
Yes, we do have their contact information on file. We do also realize, staff realizes that this evening, one of the spots will remain open, essentially, until there's
Other
A new
commissioner.
person.
Our student ex officios are more than welcome to volunteer for service, and kind of piggyback any of the different committees that are set here, one or more. You don't have to orally commit tonight, though.
Wait, what's... I'll do anything.
Should be the general all-around helper.
That's good. That's
Whatever's left, I'll do it.
Perhaps Commissioner
you very
Bastian
much.
would like
Well,
your help.
I don't mind assisting in the advertisements also, since right now we're short one, and we can get the ball rolling.
Well, actually, I think if what happens is everybody participates in all
All of
the
it, yeah.
in all of the committees. So it's just a matter of one person taking it on, accepting responsibility for coordinating and making sure that everyone's doing their job, and actually going out and taking like the extra step that those of us that are working on other committees don't have the time to do. Commissioner Walker, you decided?
I'm still thinking.
Okay.
Do we want to wait for Commissioner Walker, or shall we move on?
I do have a question.
Okay.
So, is the commission okay with the chair of the event, which so far it seems Commissioner Hunt,
We need to take a
and
vote
along
on-
with
I think maybe we'll just do one motion that encompasses all of them.
Okay, all right. Then let's get Commissioner Walker then to commit tonight so that we have that in the record, and advertisements or sponsorships. It's like,
I want to make sure that, I'm in a committee wherein I can really help well, and at this point, it's probably auction swags and speaker talent awards are the choices that I have, and I
Okay.
know that
So-
you guys already, said yes.
Commissioner Tostian, would you be willing to give up the silent auction and give that to Commissioner Walker and take on advertisements or sponsorships?
Actually, my first choice is really, the talent part, because I do have a
we
lot
don't-
of...
But we usually don't have talent there.
No,
so
I know,
it's-
the speaker talent and awards,
Yeah.
because I do have a lot of, potential leads for that.
Well, I like to,
and so on.
let's kind of change it around a little bit so that we give other people, because I know you did that last year. And
No,
I'd
I
like to-
didn't do,
Did the awards last year, yes.
yeah, but I didn't do speaker and talent.
That was all the same.
Last year, okay, so we're in an impasse.
Well, I did advertisements last year, and I think that's part of the reason why I wanted silent auction and giveaways this year.
I mean, initially, everyone's going to help out with everything.
Yes.
Yes,
So,
that's true.
I mean,
That's
one
true.
person's just being the symbol here and just saying, I'll be the leader,
Okay.
but then everyone else.
You're right. All right, so let's just make a
Just move
motion
ahead.
to have, for Commissioner Hunt to be the chair and Commissioner Tostian will do silent auction, I will do awards, and the rest will be for everyone. And Commissioner Walker can kind of slide from one place.
Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And let's just do a roll call vote.
Commissioner Hunt?
Aye.
Commissioner Taschen? Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Chair Devine?
Yes. Next item, please.
At 6, still under action items, is consideration and discussion of the sponsorship of the Glendale Unified School District's Yellow Ribbon Week, the Hands and Words Project, and at A is a motion providing direction regarding this project.
Okay, little briefing, please.
First, Chair Devine, members of the Commission, Yellow Ribbon Week is the third week of January that is set aside by the GUSD, which is the Glendale Unified School District, to raise awareness regarding violence and prevention efforts in their schools. For the upcoming year, Yellow Ribbon Week is scheduled for January 17th through 21st, which is the week of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. The Hands and Words Are Not for Hurting Project is a nonprofit organization located in Oregon that was founded in 1997. The mission of the Hands and Words Project is to educate each person in every community about their moral and legal right to live free of abuse and violence. The Hands and Word Project includes a pledge that is taken by participants who pledge to not use violence to control others, not to tolerate any form of abuse from others, and to ask for help, not to hurt themselves with words or actions, and to develop healthy relationships based on respect and equality. For the past 5 years, the Commission has partnered with the GUSD to bring this anti-violence program to the district's curriculum. Last year, the Commission was able to successfully help implement this program with 100% participation throughout the school district. Historically, the Commission has allocated $3,500 each year towards the purchase of materials for this program. Based on recent conversations with the Superintendent's Office, GUSD is interested in continuing the Hands and Words program in their elementary and middle schools, and they are perhaps looking at an alternate curriculum for the high schools relating to teen dating violence. And this is a direct stem from conversations that we've been able to have as a result of the Domestic Violence Task Force. And one of the reflections of alternate curriculum is the Teen Dating Violence Forum that we just did last month. So what we're looking at this point was 20 elementary schools and 4 middle schools. And just to refresh the Commission's memory, last year, of the $3,500 that was budgeted, we spent $3,137.75. We ordered 1,000 pins, 1,400 brochures in English, which the school district then reproduced those brochures to make available at all their office counters, and 37 rolls of stickers, which is 500 per roll. The main participation from the school district, from the high schools, has been banners that the Commission invested in a couple years ago, which did cost a significant amount of money, and I know that the high schools tend to, as they talk about their anti-violence week, they do post those banners. But what the school district is now saying is that they like this program for the younger school.
Right. Okay, but in our allocation, our funding, we're still asking for $3,500 to cover the 20 elementary schools and the 4 middle schools, or will that be less this year?
We can allocate less. I think
since we're not doing that, since we're not covering the high schools.
Last year there was no cost for the high schools because of the purchase of the banner in previous years.
Okay.
But we can, just to accommodate for the Commission's budget and for any future spending that might arise for the high schools, which we're not
we
sure.
We can allocate. Well, let's make it that we can allocate up to $3,500 for the Hands and Words. That could be the motion. Is there any objection to doing this? As Ms. Baboumian mentioned, the Domestic Violence Task Force, of which Sally Miles from the school district is a part of, has praised this program in our schools, and so I think it's really important that we keep it going. And as far as the program for the high schools, the teen dating program, Safe Dating. They, according to from the meeting today at the Domestic Task Force, they could have this in their guidelines or their what's it called, their curriculum as early as February. So that's a really, really significant occurrence. So I would like a motion, if no one has any objections, to allotting up to $3,500 to fund the Hands and Words program in our elementary and middle schools. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Seconded.
And vote, please.
Commissioner Hunt,
Aye.
Vice Chair Teschen,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chair Devine.
Yes. Next item, please.
Still under business agenda, B, in reports information only, is an update on the Domestic Violence Awareness Month activities, also known as DVAM. This report provides an update on the activities for DVAM that took place in the month of October. First, as we've mentioned in previous meetings, was the CPR grant presentation to the Glendale Police Department. And this was the grant the Commission created called Commission Project Rescue, which was given to the Glendale Police Department on Tuesday, October 12th, during the City Council meeting. The Police Department was there to accept the grant, as was the Commission there to present it. And just to refresh everyone's memory, this grant will provide housing for a maximum of 2 days while individuals who flee their abusers make arrangements to go to a safe location, be it a shelter or alternate housing, should a shelter not be available at that moment when they call for help. The next event under DVAM was the Candlelight Vigil, which was the vigil that we collaborate with the Glendale YWCA to bring every year. This took place Thursday, October 21st from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Glendale YWCA. There were approximately 85 people who attended the event, which made it the most successful event in more ways than one, I believe. The Candlelight Vigil was held in memory of victims of domestic violence, both the survivors and those who have lost their lives. There was a poetry reading in English, Armenian, and Spanish, as well as a moving musical performance. Speakers at the vigil included our mayor, Ara Najarian, Councilmember Laura Friedman, Police Chief Rhonda Pompa, a victim of domestic violence who works with the Y, and representatives from the Y and the Commission on the Status of Women. In addition, we had members of our religious community present who offered some very nice moving words at the end during the Candlelight Vigil. Our next event was the Teen Dating Safety Forum that we partnered with the Glendale Unified School District to bring, which took place on Thursday, October 28th at the Glendale Central Library Auditorium. We had approximately 65 people at this event. And in addition to our main speaker, Barry Levy, who is a lecturer at the Department of Women's Studies at the University of California, Los Angeles, we also had representatives from the Glendale Police Department, the LA County Bar Association's Domestic Violence Project, Break the Cycle, and the school district to answer questions after the presentation. And to complement this event, the Commission did produce bookmarks with the pertinent information about teen dating safety and resources. These were distributed to the 4 high schools. We distributed 9,200 bookmarks of the 10,000 that were produced. That's enough to account for each student. The Commission retained the remaining 800, and staff is currently in the process of coordinating the delivery of bookmarks to students at Holy Family High School as well. Now, for the total fiscal impact of DVAM, the total amount was $606.25, which is under budget. The specific costs are as follows: $57.50 for staffing costs associated with the use of the Glendale Central Library Auditorium. This is a very significant saving compared to what would be estimated to originally use the Glendale High School Auditorium. So while we didn't hold the event on a school campus and we held it at the Central Library, there was a significant cost savings to that move. And in addition, the cost of producing the 10,000 bookmarks in color was $548.75. And that concludes my report, if there's any questions.
You can handle my money anytime. If you're able to bring that cost down like that, great job, Ms. Bogomian. Any comments from the commissioners about the programs? I want to give an update. The teen forum was quite successful, and we had a great turnout. Today, and the most important thing about this part of the Domestic Violence Awareness Month is the fact that the Glendale Unified School District is really making a concerted effort to get a curriculum in place. And as I said before, Sally Miles today at the Domestic Task Force meeting mentioned that in 2 months it can move along to be part of the it's called the pacing guide. That's the one I couldn't think of. Pacing guide to be the subjects to be taught in the curriculum by February. And that's absolutely amazing and something that everyone should be really proud of. Any other comments from commissioners? If there are none, I think it was the best Domestic Violence Awareness Month that this commission has had. And I thank Ms. Baboumian. I thank the YWCA and the Domestic Violence Task Force for being a part of it and helping us, suggesting events and ideas. And so that's fabulous.
I'm sorry, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank Student Ex Officio Commissioner Donnellian for participating in the Candlelight Vigil program.
She was wonderful. That was very nice. Nicely done. Nicely done. Okay. And Sally Miles did mention today that all the bookmarks were given out to all the schools, at every school. So that was quite an accomplishment. And those are really nice. They're very nice. Okay, next item.
At 6 is commission and staff comments.
Okay, shall we start with Ex Officio Donnellian tonight for our comments?
Sure. Okay, to start it off, well, I have to commend the commission. Christine, I know you worked so hard on this month, and all the commission members. I think it was a very successful and beneficial event, and I think everybody in the community, doesn't matter if they were women, children, men, they benefited from it, and I'm very happy with it. And I hope that throughout the years they still carry out this program for the domestic violence. I just think it was wonderful. And then I'd also like to announce that GCC finally accepted the Women's Health and Awareness Club. Yeah, so we're starting that up, and it's kind of very exciting because it's just a I guess it's a stepping stone to bringing activism for women in the community, but at school actually. So what the club is mainly going to focus on is to empower the women and the students, especially at GCC where you have different women, you have girls my age, and then you have women who have gone, who are adults, who have children, who are coming to school part-time. So it's just going to be a very good club that's, I guess it directs all women. So we're going to focus on economic issues, education, psychological issues, and just women in general, and health, obviously. So right now it's still in the beginning steps, so hopefully it carries on to be a good program.
Good for you, and congratulations on that. Commissioner Hunt?
This is my first time making this report.
I know.
I didn't know quite what to say. I'm finishing my term as president of the Quarterback Club of Glendale, by the way. Quarterback Club meets 11 times during the football season to talk about football and support football players and scholarships and things for the local community. I'm the third woman in 68 years to be president of this organization. That's why I brought it up today.
All right.
I'm a member of Sir Optimus International of Glendale, along with the chair, and my role in that organization is to chair the committee that gives our money away. So we have just finished a series of meetings and looking at applications, and we're going to be making in December a donation of about $13,000 to 11 different organizations right here in our community. So that's really a wonderful, I love doing that. It's one thing making money, it's quite another giving it away. I attended the not only the domestic violence program at the YWCA, but also the teen violence program at the library, and I thought they were both excellent. And I went to the health program with the chair in Pasadena last week, and we learned all kinds of things. Some of them we already knew. We learned that sunscreen is the most important thing you can do for your skin. But we already knew that. I learned a couple of new words: nutraceuticals and cosmeceuticals, which means lately there's been this morphing of vitamins and health food things becoming treatments, and the use of cosmetics as treatment for the skin. So these are a whole new kind of generic, well, they're not generic, a whole new genre of products that are going to be available to everybody, women and men, of course. But those were interesting words, I thought, nutraceuticals and cosmeceuticals. Anyway, it was a wonderful conference. I enjoyed it very much. It's nice to be in, we get a little, we're so Glendale focused, and that's wonderful, and we do great work here. But it's nice to be in the bigger community, Pasadena, San Gabriel. I forget all where her territory goes. But it was a wonderful, big, full room of people. It was very stimulating. That's my report.
Commissioner Tostian.
Thank you. Oh, first of all, let me congratulate Commissioner Hunt on your appointment.
Thank you.
I did hear many great things about you, actually, and that you've done a lot of work in this community, both regarding women's issues and issues in general, and I hope to learn from your experience.
Commissioner Walker.
Special thanks to Senator Carol Liu's office, represented by Tara Goraya, District 21 Coordinator, for supporting Legion of Hope's gala supporting patrons of arts and education last Friday at the Renaissance Hotel. And congratulations to Michael Dean Shelton, Philanthropist of the Year, for the Legion of Hope gala, celebrated last Friday as well. Michael has raised millions for charity work with his celebrity friends and continues to discover emerging talents and performers in Hollywood. And he's happy to work with the Commission in future programs. November is also Alzheimer's Awareness Month, and please let us support this worthy endeavor. And welcome to our new Commissioner, Commissioner Hunt.
Ms. Babumian.
I just wanted to, as you mentioned a little earlier, Chair Devine, just to announce that unfortunately Commissioner Garza-Vanyan chose to step down just very recently from her position as Commissioner for the Commission on the Status of Women, and she just wanted to extend her thanks to all the commissioners and mention that it's been a great pleasure to serve the Commission, and she wishes the best to all her colleagues. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Saturday was the first Glendale Health Festival. Dr. Sepelian was the chair, and I want to congratulate him and everyone that worked on this health festival. There were between 1,200 and 1,400 people there. The amazing news is that 103 women qualified to receive vouchers for free mammograms. 54 women received free pap smears. Over 200 received flu vaccinations. And all in all, it was a great success, and we look forward to next year when we do it all over again. I also attended the Evening of Hope, which was put on by Glendale Adventist Medical Center. It was held in Eagle Rock, and the topic was Journeys with breast cancer. And I always like to bring back to the Commission that I saw another of our ex officios, Jill Maricutt, was there, and she's at Irvine right now and having a fabulous time and learning a lot. And her mom is a survivor, and we wish her the best. It was a very inspirational evening, motivational, and I can still remind you, don't forget to get your mammograms. That's very, very important. Another activity that the Commission is going to be a part of, and I'm bringing this up now because it's happening between December 1st and December 14th, and it is a diaper drive. And the Domestic Violence Task Force is taking this on with Path Achieve. And what we're going to try to do between December the 1st and the 14th is collect diapers. So if you think about it when you're shopping, buy some diapers, and you can drop them off at the YWCA. You can drop them off at the Armenian Relief Society Community Center. You can drop them off at Glendale High School or at the Glendale Police Department. The diapers will go to needy, homeless women and victims of domestic violence at the shelters. So please, buy some diapers, consider it a Christmas gift, and drop them off, and they will be distributed. That's between December the 1st and December the 14th. So please be a part of the diaper drive. And finally, I do want to send out a special thanks to Senator Carol Liu for inviting me to attend the Pasadena YWCA luncheon, Embracing Our Diversity. It was a special event in which they all discussed the mission of the YWCA. And I'm going to conclude this evening's meeting with their mission. It is to eliminate racism and empower women. They are dedicated to promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity to all. And may we all be a part of that mission. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
Meeting is adjourned at 10:08.